Good evening, everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and this show is brought to you by our friends at Massage Magazine Insurance Plus. Massage Magazine has been exploring touch therapies for over 25 years and has used that industry knowledge to develop the best value liability insurance in the business. And I want to thank Eric Dalton for sponsoring this presentation and offering Massage Nerd listeners to a 10% discount on all his home study courses. Use the code MN10 when you check out at ericdalton.com. And another sponsor is Shalene Taylor. She turned her struggling massage therapy practice into multi-million-dollar, multi-location success, and now is showing others how to build a purposeful and profitable massage practice. Visit www.iambiz.com. Welcome, everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and today we have a special blue guest tonight, Allissa Haines. Hi.
Not really blue, but that's okay.
Yeah, you used to be in a former life, so. So you wanted to start off with something. I'll give you the pedestal.
Okay, all right. Well, hi, I'm Allissa. And if you're watching, you already know who I am, so introductions are silly. Anyway, today is a very odd day. I originally scheduled this appearance here and to get to play with Ryan because it's my birthday. And I was just super excited that I'd be here on my birthday. And a lot of wacky stuff happened in the past week. And a friend of mine, a massage teacher, Diane Pulsino, passed away on Saturday. So I actually spent today, the first half of today, at her funeral. And yesterday and the day before and whatever, I was very much like, oh, I have to go to a funeral on my birthday, and this is so sad. And Diane died, and it's just awful. It's awful for the massage industry, and I've been talking to a lot of massage friends the past day, a couple of days, and I have to say that today was, for all the sadness of losing a friend, it was amazing. It was amazing to see the massage community that came out for this, to read people's stories over the past couple of days of how Diane impacted their life. And she was an amazing woman, and she was my teacher at Bancroft School of Massage. And shortly after I graduated from Bancroft, she became the director of education at Cortiva, Boston. And then I believe the president of that campus. But she wrote the ethics column for the Massage Therapy Journal for years and years and years, I think. As long as I've been around, which isn't that long. But she touched everybody, and I wrote a piece about it, and my friend Carrie wrote a piece about it that I published on the blog today. But it was an amazing reminder of the incredible outpouring of love that happens in our community. And I know you can vouch for this, Ryan, because you've seen it, and you come to a lot of events, and this is an amazing field. You know, it's amazing hands-on work. It's amazing getting to touch people, and it's phenomenal getting to hang out with our colleagues. My favorite thing about this industry, and I've been thinking a lot about this in the past a couple of days, is that the rock stars and the leaders and the teachers and the writers in this field are so incredibly accessible to us, and they're so much like us. So many of our teachers and our writers and the people heading up our organizations are also hands-on practitioners. And that doesn't always happen in a lot of fields. And so I go to all these events a couple times a year now, some local events and some of the national AMCA events. I went to the AMC that was in Atlanta last year. And I got to hang out with people like Ruth Warner and Ralph Stevens and Whitney Lowe and Marjorie Brooke. And I got to walk into a room and have them be like, hey, Allissa. And I want to make this really clear. And this is my point tonight. They don't know me because I write a blog for massage therapists. I got to know these people well before 2 years ago when I started doing this silly blog. I got to know these people because I started meeting with other massage therapists in my state through my AMTA state chapter. And I went to some local and regional and then eventually national events, and not just AMTA events. I went to that AMCA event in Atlanta, which was great. And because I got involved and because I started volunteering, that's how I got to meet all these people. And these amazing rock stars of our field, Diana Thompson and Ryan Hoyme, and all of these really cool people are accessible to everyone the same way that they're accessible to me. And I want to make that really clear. You're sitting there in front of your computer and you're listening to me ramble. You can email the same people that I can and get great responses and probably ask better questions. And that's not exclusive to someone who writes a blog. That goes for you if you do write a blog or not. And it goes for everyone in our field. Our rock stars are so accessible. This past weekend, or a week and a half ago, AMCA Mass Chapter had their annual event. And it was really cool because vendors and exhibitors from all over the country came, and CG Funk from Massage Envy came, and Angie Patrick from Massage Warehouse, and Linda Soline Wolf from Performance Health were there. And at one point, when they giggled, I was like, I'm totally rolling with the big girls of massage. Like, this is exciting. And then I realized I was sitting in a room full of almost 250 local massage therapists who had, all from Massachusetts, who all had that same accessibility to CG and Angie and Linda as I did, and as all of you do. If you have a question about a massage product, you call Angie Patrick, and she will answer you, and she knows the answer, and she's amazing. And you all have that too. And she's really good on Facebook too, right? I mean, awesome. And that's a big deal. And that accessibility to our leaders is something I think that makes us different and makes our profession very, very special. And the second thing that I'm going to ramble about is how incredibly generous we are. Actually, I'm going to step backwards. You start getting involved and you start reading people's Facebook posts and you start reading, Laura Allen's blog about the politics of massage, and you see a lot of infighting. You see a lot of real passionate debate, and it's so awesome. It's so incredibly awesome to see all that, because it means that we actually care about the future of this profession and where it's going for all of us. And that's a really big deal. And I think to watch people debate is really important. It's really important to see that the passion behind it is because we all care so much. And you'll notice at the end of the day, everybody starts agreeing again, and or at least getting along really well, because it's important that we do that to move forward. I'm going to save my other rant for later, because that was a lot, and I know I get a little weepy. I was at a funeral this morning. And we can start going through. So, but Ryan, I'm kind of curious, because we emailed about this a little bit. What's your favorite thing about the massage industry? I'm totally interviewing you.
Okay. Oh. Definitely willing to share as much as possible out there.
Yeah, the collaboration is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about the generosity among our field, but I think maybe we'll just pop right into our topic, because I'm going to give something away in a little while, and I want to entice you guys to stay tuned longer. We're going to totally do that, like, sneaky TV trick where I'm giving something away. You're going to have to act and be involved in the chat room, so I want to make sure that everybody has time to log into the chat.
Yeah. Oh, one quick thing. Your microphone keeps hitting your hair.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I'll fix it. I'm fixing it. All right, I'm going to put the other earbud in, and we'll make this work better.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yep, better.
I'm sorry. I'm awful.
So one thing I wanted to know is, how did you get involved in blogging? So what made you want to blog?
I had a lot of opinions. Not a big surprise there. I had been volunteering. I had been volunteering with my AMTA Massachusetts chapter for a couple of years, and because I was helping with our education department, I was meeting more educators and meeting more members who were coming to these events and hearing a lot of the same questions over and over again. I've got 12 clients a week. I want to have 15, but I can't seem to get over that hump. And, at the time I was 3-4 years to a good practice. It took me 5 years to get up to my full speed, but it's I was getting over that hump. So people would ask questions and I would answer them. And then a lot of my local colleagues, I kind of became the go-to person for their questions. So, my friend Carlene would send me an email and say, okay, I'm working on someone who is pregnant and I can't remember this thing. And so then I would be like, oh, we want to do this, this, and this. And I remember one week, two of my friends called me with the same marketing question. And I ended up just emailing all three of my friends the same answer. And I was like, well, this is ridiculous. Like, they can't be the only people who have these questions. And I had questions too, and I would go to different people for those answers. And I thought, this is when blogging was starting to get a little bit more well-known 2 years ago. And and it just seemed like a logical thing. I had a lot of opinions, and I had met Laura Allen, who was like, tell us your opinions. And Diane Paulsino, she was huge in helping me. She was like, go ahead, you got stuff to say it, see what happens. Some of that was good and some of that's bad. But yeah, I had mentors like Ruth who were like, go ahead, put your thoughts out there and see. And that was that's kind of what got me started. I had opinions.
Was it a little rough in the start of it then? Or?
Oh, it's still rough. I look back every so often. I'll kind of go back and look at some old posts, and there's a couple I've taken down because they're just so bad. I'm mortified that I ever put that out there to anyone or thought that was a good idea. And it's been a learning experience, and that's the thing too. When you start to put your thoughts out to the public, it's really scary. And this is going to tie into our topic more, like writing for your massage business. It's scary. You write something down and you put it in an email to a client, and it exists. And if you've said something wrong, or if you said something badly, or if you've used incorrect apostrophes, or it's there. And so there's a fear you have to get over. You just have to get over. You just have to race through the wall. You just got to throw yourself against it and be like, I am going to mess up my grammar. It's going to happen. I am going to say something stupid. I am going to say, cross your right arm over your left shoulder, and you're going to say it wrong, and you're going to have to be like, oh, no, that's not how you do the stretch. It's going to happen. Just like when you speak, or when you do something, or when you're learning to effleurage, you're going to screw it up at least once. Get over it. Your clients understand. And it's just part of you. But that's it. I mean, it's really scary when you start putting stuff out there and it's there. But I don't even remember your question. I babbled for a long time, Ryan.
Yeah, because I think that's a problem with most people. They're just really scared to just put themselves out there to be more vulnerable in a way.
Yeah, we're human. And that's the biggest thing you got to get over. You're just human.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, let's bust right into some writing tips, and then we can stop and see what kind of questions people are asking. So I have created, along with my friend Kat Mayerovich from Ohio. She's brilliant, and she and I have created this list of basic writing tips, and these are applicable to writing the copy for your website, perhaps your welcome page, or your services page, or even your bio. We'll talk more specifically about that in a minute as well. But any part of your website, if you're writing a client blog, if you're writing emails, if you're doing any kind of email newsletter, or regular emailing to your clients, these writing tips apply to all of those things. Not every single one is going to be right for you. You've got to pick and choose what works for you. But there's going to be something in this list that resonates with you. I don't use all of these. I use some of them. So the first one, and this is totally going to make Ryan laugh. The first one is to blather on and on and on. When you're thinking about what you have to write about, say the welcome page for your website, and you're not sure what you want to say, but you have a lot in your head, just write it all down. I don't call it brainstorming because that stresses me out, but blather like crazy. Write down everything. It doesn't have to be complete sentences. It can just be total thought. And I like this, and I love this, and cheese is good, and da-da-da-da-da. It doesn't matter. Get it all down. Get it out of your head so you can breathe. And then you go back and choose the nuggets that are actually worth something and that are actually applicable to whatever you're writing. You'll probably find when you start blathering like that that you've written 2 other pages that you needed as well, but they were all mooshed together. They were schmarmed together. That's a Dan Pulsino word I'm going to use a lot tonight. Everything was schmarmed together. And you just got to get it out and get it onto paper. Some people, I have to check off these things because I'm totally going out of order on my list, but there we go. So some people, now me, the way I do it, I actually can't write fast enough, and my handwriting is so messy that I usually can't read it again later. And my typing is awful as well. And then with like the autocorrect, it turns into a nightmare. So I hit the little record button, either on my little voice recorder on my iPhone or on the computer, and I do exactly what I'm doing now. I just say it all. I get it all out. I talk through it, and then I have to. What's sobering is that then you have to listen to yourself, which is always interesting. And then you just listen to it, and you pick the useful nuggets out, and you transcribe them, or you can transcribe the whole thing. There are programs like I think it's Dragon Speak or something like that will actually transcribe for you. You can talk into it, and it'll turn it. I haven't gone that route yet, just because I'm lazy about buying the software. Really, and that's a really good way. You can pick the nuggets out of it that way, and you're not so much writing as you are speaking, and sometimes that gets you over that initial obstacle of not knowing what to write. So there's the record yourself version.
But how does food come into it then?
It can be hard if it's tough for me. I've done recordings and then like caught myself snacking in the middle of it and been like, this is not classy at all. This is not like, this must be what it sounds like when I'm on the phone with people and I'm eating and and Michael, and I see Michael's in the chat right now. Michael totally has to put up with me eating when I'm on the phone with him. And I'm pretty sure when I was on the phone with Andrea not long ago, I was eating as well. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so that's an issue, and that's probably part of why my computer's dying after 2 years. It's God knows how much pad thai is stuck in that keyboard. That's super classy.
And you also blog about food in your blogs too, so.
It's interesting because when I started writing the blog, okay, we're gonna sidebar here. When I started writing the blog, I felt like my thing would be to end every post with what I was snacking on when I was writing the post. And it was cute, it was a thing, and I love food, I love to eat, it's great, but I have totally gained almost 20 pounds in the last 2 years. And I learned it's a thing, just like the Freshman 15, there's something called blogger butt, and I got it. So, and then somebody, I think probably after the first year of blogging, someone emailed me. I get great emails, and sometimes they're hilarious. Someone was like, I'm concerned that you have a food addiction. Oh, crap. And I was like, maybe I do. And then I was like, well, I wonder if I can write without eating. And like, oh, no. And no, I don't have a food addiction, but I contemplated that seriously. And, I gained all that weight because I started to sit at my desk more. So I have a standing desk now, and that's pretty cool. So I do a lot more of my writing standing, which is actually so much better on my shoulders because my arms were always killing me and my shoulders were killing me. So that's a little sidebar. So I don't post as much about food anymore because now I'm scared I'm going to like entice other people to be food addicts. I'm like really nervous about that. I don't want to be like what do they call that? Enabler.
You're a subliminal messages. So
I know. So so there's that. But I don't remember what. So food. Yeah, there's that. And it's Kichi, and I still love food. And anybody who can cook is my best friend. So there's that. And I see Andrea, or I see Steph and Michael saying that they miss the little bits about food. So maybe I'll include more of that. Again, we'll see.
Yeah.
So wait, now I have to take a drink of water because that was exhausting. And I moved into a new house, and our kitchen is mostly under construction still, so I still can't even start cooking again. But soon, very soon I will. Shall we go back to writing?
Yeah, yes.
Crap went off the rails quick, Ryan.
Yeah.
So I just want to point out that Ryan was totally rapping. Like when we were Skyping before this went live, he was pulling out some serious 1980s style homeboy rap. And it was awesome. Like, he was everything short of the hat the wrong way, throwing signs, man. It was awesome. So you don't even let people see you during the call.
Nope.
So not fair. Tune boy. Yeah, okay, so writing. So we talked about blathering on and writing it, and then pulling the nuggets out of that, or then doing the same thing verbally and recording. And then either transcribing it or listening to it and pulling the little bits out. So some people, however, and I'm actually one of them, sometimes the best way for me to do this is to write in list form. Very short, compressed, not full sentences, totally incomplete sentences, lists of ideas. And I remember, like, in third grade, we were learning to write reports, and we would have to put each idea on an index card, and then we would have to spread the index cards out and put them in the order that we wanted, that flowed properly for the report. So you'd have your introduction, and then you'd have specific facts, and you tie them together, and you put them in order, you have your closing. And I am a very spatial person. I use a whiteboard. I try to do some mind mapping. And like right now, seriously, I'm sitting on my floor because this is where I was sitting to put my notes together, because I have to sit down and spread out and have things around me. And a lot of it I do on the computer now, but every so often I just need to have the pieces of paper in front of me. And so for me to think it, I have to think in list form. So I just take a sheet of paper. I can actually do that on the computer very easily. Don't worry about full sentences. Just come up with your list of ideas. So if I want to write, let's say I'm doing a monthly email to my clients, and we don't call them newsletters because that's terribly boring. It's just your monthly communication with your clients. Newsletters are boring. So let's say I want to say hello, see how their holiday was, maybe tell them a little bit about how mine, let's say we're like post-Easter or spring break or something. And so I had to create a list of the ideas. So, I noticed that a bunch of my clients are having post-Easter sugar shock. So what kind of information can I tell them that's going to help them get motivated to get back at the gym? And so, let's maybe talk about a stretching routine. So I had to make a list. And, I wanted to include a picture of blah, blah, blah. I have to think in list form, and that works for me. Some people need that kind of structure because then it's much easier to move around than if you have all these complete sentences. And this is the thing that we all tell everyone who's trying to write, and you don't get it until you get it, and then a light bulb goes on. Write in your own voice. And it's a really esoteric thing to say, find your voice. You have to find your voice. And then all of a sudden somebody will be like, you found your voice. And I have no idea what you're talking about. What that means, for me, what I've interpreted that to mean is that when you're writing, it sounds the same way as when you're speaking. So, and that's a big deal. It takes a long time to get there. Some of us in our writing, when we start out, and because we're so nervous about saying the wrong thing and putting it out there for the world, that we'll go hyper-professional, and we'll say things like, a soreness on the inside of your olecranon. How's an olecranon? Like, I know what it is, but your client doesn't know what it is. You have to say, are you having soreness around your elbow? Perhaps it's golfer's elbow or tennis elbow or da-da-da-da-da. You've got to sound like a human being. You've got to sound like the same way you do when you're having an interaction with a client in your practice space or in your spa or wherever, or anything like that. You've got to sound like yourself. And that's where the dictation, recording your voice, and then the dictation can come in especially useful. I'm going to take a breath. Do we have any good questions coming up?
Yeah, Quality Life asks, actual question, how do you keep yourself within the scope of practice in your not newsletter and blog?
Well, the same way you do it when you're talking to patients or clients. Don't say crap you're not qualified to say. You can say, Okay, so let's say you want to write a little bit of a blurb. Doesn't matter if we're talking about a blog or an email, doesn't matter, but you're going to write a blurb about golfer's elbow. This is the perfect time of year for that. People are starting to get outside, they're starting to do the swings, they're having some torso stuff from the twisting, and they're getting a little bit of elbow stuff. So you want to stay within your scope of practice. So perhaps you could link to an article from a specific journal that says more about it. But you can say things like, are you feeling sore after your day of golfing? Are you feeling sore in here? Well, then perhaps this is a stretch that can be useful to you. You're not diagnosing anything. But you got to do it. Everybody does it differently. So that's tricky because I can't give anybody exact wording because I don't know how you talk to your patients. I'm going to assume that you're a highly ethical practitioner, and when you're talking to your patients in your office, you're staying within those boundaries of your scope of practice. So you got to do the same thing written down. I'm trying to come up with another example, but I can't. My brain's freezing up, but I'm going to keep this in my head. Any other good questions at the moment while I think about this more? Come on, Ryan. What are you learning another rap instead of paying attention?
No, something about yogurt and.
Oh my God, that's great. I'm so glad they're talking about food on there. That's useful. So it's the scope of practice is a good one, and I wish I had a better answer than you need to stay within the same parameters you do in your office. But there really isn't. They're ethical explorations that we have to. You have to think about what you want to say about golfer's elbow, and you have to write it down, and you have to look at it and say, is this appropriate? Am I trained enough in this technique to say, perhaps this is a useful technique for you? And likely you are. We really undervalue our skills here. We're soft tissue experts. And you want to be real mindful of your state's rules. But if you're specially trained in, let's say, AIS, active isolated stretching, and your state allows you to teach stretching, then it's okay for you to tell someone how to stretch their forearm. It's perfectly okay for you to do that. So for you to make a video for that client to be able to access when they're at home and they need to do some arm stretches, but they can't pay attention and they're not good at following instructions. But if they're watching a video of you showing a forearm stretch, that's perfectly within your scope of practice, if it's within your scope of practice. So these things, and every state is different and every technique is different. So I don't have a real great blanket answer, except if you are writing or you are recording videos in the same way, in your regular voice, in your regular manner of speaking, and you are an ethical practitioner who is staying within your scope of practice, it doesn't so much matter if you're verbal with someone in front of you, if you're recording it, or you're writing it down. All those same boundaries apply. I hope I answered that question properly.
Yep.
I hope I answered it. It may not be proper, you know. My name's Allissa. I have one, I have one opinion.
Yep.
And
Quality Life says you did.
Excellent. Yeah. That's good. Oh, I think that's Leslie. Hi, Leslie. So the last tip, the last specific tip for this is when you're trying to find your voice, it's a really good idea to start looking around for other people who write the way you like, things that ring and resonate and ring true with you. It doesn't need to be a massage therapist. It could be a yoga practitioner, a yoga teacher, and it could be a blog or a great website that they have. We always poke through other people's websites to see what we like and we don't like. That's one of the first steps of designing a good website, right? Go look around. Tell me what things you like and you don't like. Do the same thing with writing. Yeah, it's a little bit more of a process. You got to dive deep into content. Few things worth having come easily. So you got to suck it up and do the legwork. But look around for other writers, other related practitioners, and whose voice resonates with you, who you like, and you think are a little similar to you. And then read them regularly. Make it a point to subscribe to any updates that they have. Take some time to really go through each page of their website if they are someone who has, if they've published an ebook or a printed book, check it out and make sure that you're regularly keeping up with reading things from other writers who are speaking in a way that you like, that you enjoy, and that speaks to you, because you will start to take on those characteristics. I write in a manner where I kind of ignore certain grammar rules. I start all sorts of sentences with and but, and it's a thing that I do because it's very much the way I speak. That doesn't resonate with everybody. It annoys the crap out of some people, and they shouldn't read me and they shouldn't try to write like me, and that's okay. So you really do have to spend some time poking around and just seeing what resonates with you. And, the things that I write for my clients, if someone else was to put them on their client blog, it would sound absurd because they clearly sound like Allissa. And I interact with my clients differently than you do, Ryan,
Yep. And one thing, at the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education Conference last year, I talked to a lot of authors, and I asked them, so how good a writer are you? And most of them said they suck. So the thing is, the editors, that's why, you're trying to get out information as much as possible, but the editors are the ones that really clean things up a lot of times, so.
Yeah, and that's true. And, I was having this conversation with someone today. I've read some really amazing texts from some beautiful writers where, right now I am reading the Deep Massage. Wait, it's actually sitting under my computer. Let me see. The Deep Massage book, How to Combine Structure and Energy in Body Work by Dave Lauderstein. And it is so beautifully written that I'm not going to say that I'm breezing through the content because it's heavy stuff, but it's keeping me so incredibly engaged that even though it's tough material and it's like these big theories and this science in it and physiology and but it's so wonderfully written, it's keeping me engaged. And I have read books and texts in the massage industry that are getting across the most I almost said the most easiest. Yeah, good grammar. Getting across the most simple ideas, and it's written so badly I want to puke. So, we all have skill levels, and hopefully you're going to be surrounded, or you're going to find a writing buddy. That's another tip, writing buddies. If you have someone else in your field or in a related field, and you guys can bounce ideas off each other and check each other's work. I'm sorry, I totally have hiccups. And check each other's work. Then, this is awesome. I have the hiccups on this. I'm the massage nerd. That if you can check each other's work, that's going to help a lot. And, it's some people need very specific, clear text. They don't want a winding soliloquy. Clearly those people are not reading me because I wind all over the place. But there is likely an audience for your voice. Any other good questions? What do you got?
Yeah, from Andrea, can we discuss the importance, balance of staying positive online? Not phony, of course, just not a Debbie Downer.
Man, we could not only discuss that, but we could spend like an entire month-long e-course on that. Yeah, all right, so let's start with on your own website. If you want to write a blog post or an entry or even an article for your e-newsletter, if you're going to call it that, and you want to write something about sore shoulders, maybe you're writing something for desk jockeys who tend to have that forward shoulder posturing and tight pecs. You do not want to start that off by saying, man, I feel like crap and my shoulders hurt all the time. People don't want to hear that their massage therapist hurts. Like, one, shut up, man. It's your job to make me feel better, not whine. I don't care if you're doing it online. No. And then two, it's going to make people feel guilty about getting massage from you because they know you feel like crap. So, yeah, it's really important to stay positive in any human, but stay mostly positive in any forum that your clients or potential clients could see you. So if you're on Facebook and your posts are public and you make a post about, oh my God, I had so many clients today, I'm so exhausted, I can't believe I have to go into work at 8 a.m. tomorrow. That sucks. Like, I would not want to go to that massage therapist. That would be yucky. So yes, in all venues where a client or potential client can see you, you really want to stay positive. I'm not going to go and say that in all venues where your colleagues see you, you need to stay positive. I think you need to not be a jerk. But I do think there's something to be said for, for us within our colleague groups. And when we know clients aren't watching, it's good for us to be able to vent to each other. But still, you can do that in a way that you're not a jerkhead all the time.
And then there's two questions. One's just a comment. What happened to the blue streak anyway?
Oh, it takes like 3 hours to do, and it takes a ton of money. So I just haven't done it. I've been a little busy, and I haven't made time to do it. And I haven't had any, other than this show, and I'm sorry, I moved last week. I haven't had any big events that would really warrant redoing it. But I promise it'll be done and well done before I go to Raleigh in the fall.
And then here's another one. How do you get people to read your blog, aside from Facebook friends and asking clients?
How do you get people to read your blog? Well, first, you want it to be good content. If you have good, regular content, it's going to increase the search engine optimization of your website. So regular, fresh content is going to make you rise up in the searches for, let's say, massage in Plainville, Massachusetts. If I have regular content going into my blog and I've got the right words in there, massage Plainville, Massachusetts, which are in my website, and I have fresh, regular content, Google, the primary search engine that we all use, is going to favor my site and get it up in the searches. So you're going to get more hits on your website and hopefully more blog readers and more readers of all your content. It's really important that we remember that all of our website content is important, not just the blog. And I really, most of these tips for writing are about writing all the types of content for your website on online materials, as well as your paper materials. If you're still doing a paper brochure, all of these tips are good for that, that same concept of what you got to write, how to describe your services. These are all good for that as well. So one, you want to have regular, useful, fresh content to bring you up in the searches. And then, there's this, the purpose of all your online marketing should be to drive people to your website. So if your client base is on Facebook and you can interact with them that way, great. And if you posting a blog post on Facebook gets them to come to your website and read your blog, awesome. You want to put things in your emails. Blog posts make great content for emails. And that's why I'm kind of trying to push away that notion of the email newsletter. It doesn't have to be this totally different content from what you're putting regularly on your website. Your blog can be your email content. You can do a portion of it. You could start off saying, you could do a little intro. Hey, it's June. Yay. Happy June. Come in to see me at my office. Are you golfing right now? Are you having elbow pain? Here's my blog post about, elbow stretches. You could have the first couple paragraphs of your blog post with a read more here. So you can use your email. Hopefully everything that you do when you're out in the public, when you're doing chair massage jobs, on your intake forms, you're getting clients' email addresses and getting their permission to send them emails. So you're using those emails to drive people to your blog. And sometimes your blog is driving people to other areas of your website, hopefully services, hopefully payment, hopefully the schedule tab. So you've got to use, getting people to read your blog is about getting them to your website, and the bulk of all your other marketing, that's a big part of that. So handing people your business card and having that web address on there. Your interactions on Facebook, posting bits of your website page to draw them back to your website. Your email marketing, your LinkedIn. LinkedIn is great. And trying to think of some other mechanisms, telling people about it. So getting people to read your blog. Okay, so here's one, and we talk a lot about this. This is like total on-the-fly freestyle marketing. My friend Greg Hurd and I, we call it freestyle marketing. So you're out and you bump into a friend at the grocery store, and you're talking to them like, oh yeah, I'm having rotator cuff surgery. And you're like, I actually have been working with a lot of clients who are coming out of rotator cuff surgery, and I actually wrote a blog post about the benefits of massage in conjunction with physical therapy when your PT says it's appropriate. So you take out your smartphone and you, right then and there, if you're able to, you email them, because in your phone you're going to have a little folder in your email just for your old blog posts, and you can bring that right up and email it to them. So not only do they have that blog content, they've got links to your website for more blog content. If they like that, they're going to go read more, right? Yay! And then they have all your contact information if they want to schedule an appointment. It doesn't mean that you put them on your email list and you start spamming them with stuff that they didn't ask for. You send them that one email, and you say, "I'm sending you this one email. You can sign up right on the website if you want to get more emails, or you can get permission right then." And if you don't have a smartphone, that's okay. You just need a protocol for collecting someone's email or contact information. So, as long as you always have a note card with you or something maybe in your calendar, so that you can take down their email address, and then you actually, when you get back to your website, when you get back to your desk, type in that email, send them that email that you promised them. If you have the burden of following up on you, you're going to do better than if you just hand them a business card and say, "Oh, go check out my website, and I've got a blog post on that." They're not going to do that. They're going to lose that card. They're having surgery next week. They're not thinking about this. They forgot the milk already. And so if you put that burden of follow-up on you and then you actually do it, you're getting a lot of credibility, you're giving them information they want, and you're getting them to your blog and your website.
And then Quality of Life says, I had a QR code put on the back of my polos that takes people to contact me page on my website.
Awesome, yeah. Great. And if you've got a potential clientele that's tech savvy and they've got smartphones that are going to read those QR codes, awesome. Sweet. Yeah. It's great. I mean, it's a great way to do that. Yep. And if you've got a client who's like, "What's that ridiculous code on your back?" and you still want to give them information, then you just need to take that burden of action to follow up with them, and that's fine.
Yes, definitely. Sweet. And how long should blog posts be?
It depends on your topic and your audience and who you are as a writer. My blog posts on my website for clients, for my massage practice, they probably average between 400 and 800 words. They're not the long posts that I write for you, my colleagues. I try to keep it real simple. I try to cover one little topic at a time. This is why you need to stretch your neck if you're going to be on your phone all the time. Or I have a couple posts that are very short. One where I talk about, it was when all the lactic acid research came out, and I just have a very small bit about when I was when I was a kid and I was watching the Winter Olympics and we were watching the speed skaters, and the announcers were like, "Oh, you can feel the lactic acid, you can see it building up in their legs," and like the vision I had of like this black tarry stuff building up in their big thick thighs. They wear those tight speed skater outfits and those thighs are huge. And I just like had this visual of it. And so I found a picture of the Olympic speed skaters that it was okay to use. And I used that picture and I wrote that little bit about the first time I heard of lactic acid. And then I said something to the effect of, if you've asked me about lactic acid, you always hear me say, well, new studies are showing that lactic acid isn't really a byproduct of muscle action. It's actually a fuel, and it has no relation to delayed onset muscle soreness. And here's a New York Times article that's with the new research that's backing that up. So that's really, it was a very short, it was maybe 2 paragraphs. I have a couple others that are just 1 or 2 liners. I have one that's like 1 or 2 lines and just shows a video, and then there's a YouTube video underneath of me showing a sort of shoulder stretch. And then that actually, brings me into this. No, I'm not going to go there. It's too much, and it'll take a second. And I see the chat, and I see Steph saying, Allissa can go on and on for pages. That's great. Yes, I can, but not for my clients. You guys need to really keep in mind that the Allissa that you see is your colleague and your friend, and I am writing for you. And I very rarely will use the example of my BlueStreak stuff as an example of marketing. I think it's weird to use your marketing career as an example of how you should market your practice. The examples I use are from my massage practice. There is a reason I redid my website last summer. There is a reason I created a blog. And it's because I want to have real great examples to show you of someone doing it in the field. Using my marketing teaching website as an example of marketing is lame. I think it's really important that we show super relevant examples. So that is why I have a blog for my clients. Also because I enjoy blogging for my clients. They find it useful. I find it fun. I get smarter when I write things. When I was writing that article about lactic acid, really I was just writing that blurb and referring to another article, I learned more, I retained more because I had to create real coherent thoughts about it. I got smarter because I had to write about it. And that's what's really amazing. You will get smarter. Like, remember, if you ever trying to, I was in music when I was growing up. And I did a lot of singing, and I had to do a lot of memorizing of lyrics. So I would write them down. That's what we did. That's how we memorized stuff. If you had your spelling list when you were in second grade, writing it down will force you to be smarter, and it'll help you remember little bits of information that, you know, if you have to write down what muscles are causing carpal tunnel issues, you're going to remember it better. You're going to repeat that to a client better. You're going to sound smarter. Yay. Any good questions popping up, Ryan?
No. Michael Reynolds says it's good to write at least 250 to 300 words if you're writing for SEO.
Yep, and that's awesome. And if that's what he says, then we will defer to him on that. So, you know, I do have a couple of posts up there that are really, really short, so they don't meet those parameters. You know, so that's something that we want to keep in mind, and I certainly will moving forward. So 250 to 300, and that's not that many words. And most word processing programs have a word counter in them. You just have to find them. Use your little help menu. Use your tools, and find them. It's not that tricky. Okay, so it's 10:45. So let's just give some stuff away. Okay. So, yay! This was totally on the fly. I kind of came up with this about a half an hour before the show. We already talked about how leaders are accessible in this industry, and how it's really important for me to get that across, and how so many of us care so strongly about the future of this profession that we argue dramatically, and we argue hard and passionately about stuff. At the end of the day, we're all really working to make it better one way or another. We may not agree with the outcomes all the time, but it's really important that we get over ourselves and work together on the next project, because there will always be a next project for us to move this profession forward. And so my Massachusetts AMTA is really, really involved with the Massage Therapy Foundation. And I love that because it got me introduced to the MTF kind of early in my career. And for those of you who don't know, you can go to the www.massagetherapyfoundation.org. And in a minute, it's going to be really obvious why I'm telling you this. And you'll see that the 3 pillars of the MTF, I totally just spilled my glass of water. There we go. The pillars of the MTF are about massage research, education, and community service. And the next thing that moves me about our profession so much is the just huge generosity. And I've got my little MTF pin, and because I donated some money to the MTF, and I sponsored a hole at their golf tournament fundraiser last year, which was super cool because you get to say, I sponsored a hole, and that's just fun. I love the community service aspects of the MTF, and I feel like recently the MTF might have gotten, or really the profession as a whole was portrayed as being not super generous. And I want to make it really, really clear that I have never been around a group of people who are more philanthropic, who are more generous. You know, on the ground massage therapists in the trenches, you know, a lot of us are working this gig full time and making a living, and some of us do it part time. And I love it when I see massage therapists who are maybe only doing 5 or 10 massages a week, and they give. They give to the MTF because they understand how important it is to us, because we're funding the most amazing and mind-blowing projects all over the world. We touch people. And I learned that from Diane Balsino very early on in school. We touch people. And the work that, the magnitude of that is huge. I don't talk really often about I call it the fluffier and the esoteric stuff of massage. We touch people and it changes them. We change people's moods so they go home and they're happier and they're nicer to their spouses and they're nicer to the children. We take people out of pain and dramatically change their lives. We take people who've had emotional distress and post-traumatic stress disorders, and we make it so they can sleep at night. And these are no small things. These are huge things that impact everyone every single day. And the bulk of massage therapists struggle to get that message out. And that's why I teach marketing. But regardless of all the marketing crap and the sales stuff that scares us, the thing that blows me away about this field is the total generosity of just everyone I see in it. Giving, if what you can give is one massage's worth of income a year to the MTF, that's awesome, because it goes to things like this. The MTF, in conjunction with a gift from my Mass Chapter AMTA that I get to be involved in, that I get to help make decisions for, because we just voted at our annual meeting to keep giving the MTF $10,000 a year, which is awesome. But we fund, you fund, if you've given to the MTF, you fund things like this. Tina Allen going to Japan and teaching pediatric massage to participants in the greater Tokyo area and teaching them how to massage children who are orphaned and abandoned. So think about this. We know that when you give massage, another study just came out on this, it impacts the caregiver, it impacts the person who's giving massage. We all know this. I got way mellower after I started giving massage. I swear my blood pressure went down. So it not only changes the person receiving the massage, an abandoned child, but it also changes the caregiver. It impacts their life. It improves their life and the way that they feel. And the MTF funds things like this. And this project that Tina Allen did is self-sustaining. She trained people who are going to be there. It's not like a team of massage therapists went in there, gave massage for a couple weeks and left. She trained people who will be there for however long they need to be there, which is going to be forever, because we're always going to have children who need to be massaged. And it's an ongoing project. And these are the things that the MTF funds. And these are the things that all of us fund. You go to an MTF, at the AMTA National Conventions on Friday night, they always have the MTF appreciation thing, I forget what it's called, reception. And it's amazing when you see the number of individuals who were acknowledged for $1,000 donations. It's phenomenal. It's amazing, and it blows me away. And anybody who tells you that anyone in this industry is not generous, or that we're putting our money in the wrong place, they're selling you something and they're full of crap. Because the things that I have seen being involved and showing up at these national conventions are amazing. You will not see a more generous group of people. And that's huge, and that's amazing, and that's important. And this is what we're going to do. My new friend Bruce, whose birthday it is today, hi Bruce from Stronglight, he has given us a new curved headrest, and we are going to give that away to the first person in the chat room who can name one winner of a community service grant from 2011 with the Massage Therapy Foundation, from the Massage Therapy Foundation. So we know that the website is massagetherapyfoundation.org, and we know that they've got some tabs at the top of their website, and one of them says community service, and we know that they probably have a list of past community service grant winners, and it might even be organized by year. So we're going to move on to a couple other things, but the first person to give me a correct answer to a 2011 community service grant recipient is going to get this curved headrest featuring a curved design. I said that 8 times. Curved. It's curved. That reduces pressure on the sinuses and other key areas of the face. And it's got this luxurious memory foam. And I've heard it's awesome. I know that Steph Leish tried one out and thinks that it's super cool, and it conforms to the face, and I'm going to buy one myself because I think that it's awesome. And so we're going to give that to the first person who can name a community service. And I think that, let's see if she's right. Allissa Lee, Steph won it. Are you kidding me, Steph? You just got that. Hey, Steph, you want to donate that back to the group? Jesus. Are you kidding me? Really? How many free headrests do you need? You're absolutely right. We'll give it to you because I am going to trust that you're going to give that and pass it on to one of your massage therapists who needs an equipment upgrade. And I love you, and I have your contact information already, so I know that we can get it to you. And then, Steph, I'm going to want you to write a little piece about the massage therapist that you give this to, and what great potential they have, and maybe something from the perspective of a newer, younger therapist. Because a lot of us who are in the chat room and everyone else have been around doing this for a while. And I think it's really important to work with newer therapists on occasion to get that fresh perspective. All right, so are there any questions popping up that I have missed?
Well, will I be assaulted with kudos and telemarketers if I put my cell phone number on my CE website?
Yes. Yep. If you put your phone number on a website, you will receive annoying sales marketing calls on that number. That's just life. I don't know what else to tell you. Whether or not you use your cell phone number as your primary business number is a personal decision. Many of us start out that way. I still do. I have one phone number, and right now that works for me. I have a feeling that I will probably be getting another phone number for personal use and then keeping this old one as business use. But yes, the second you put your phone number or your email online, you are going to be subject to a certain amount of spam, whether it be email or telemarketers. That's just life. It just is. It's just the nature of being in a business where people need to have your phone number.
And I just posted. I just posted in the chat how you did it on your website with your email. So you did.
So you can do that. I think on my practice page. I don't know if it's that way. So you can put your email. You can put like Allissa and then actually write @ like in brackets, and people will understand that because you want to avoid the spam bots. I think on my practice website, it probably doesn't. I think it's actually just written. I think it's actually a hyperlink. And some people will put forms up. They won't put their email address up. They'll use a form. Michael can probably give us the ins and outs on why that would be a good thing. I don't like contact forms personally. I don't fill them out. Some people like them more. I don't know. It's a personal decision. You got to do what you think is going to work for you. And whatever.
And I myself used to have a form on my website, but it broke so many times and stuff, so I just said heck with it. So
yeah, I try really hard to just go for the simplest thing. Just keep it as simple as you possibly can. So on my practice website, I believe I actually have my email address written out properly, and I think it's even a hyperlink to email, but I'm not sure. I don't get that much spam. I probably get like 10 or 15 ridiculous spam emails a day, and they're pretty obvious from the subject heading that they're spam emails, so I just delete them. I check my spam. I use a Gmail. I use a Google app account, so my Allissa at HainesMassage.com is a Google app, and they've got a good spam filter, and I remember to check that spam folder once a day, so if anything important gets caught in there, I see it. It's just life. When you run a business and you need to be in touch with people and you need to be easily accessible, it always cracks me up when someone's like, well, I don't want somebody to have my phone number. You're a massage therapist. You're a service professional. You want and need people to have your number. Like, I don't really know what the thing is. Like, it's important. Like, otherwise they can't reach you to schedule an appointment. So, anyhow, and I see Michael's writing, I like contact forms much better. Okay, awesome. Use them on your website, which he does. And that's fine.
And the nice thing about contact forms, sometimes you can get more information out of the person when they're contacting you. So I can see that. But
yeah, and some people like to be guided. They need to be guided. They need to be corralled. And that's good. Cool. I don't have the tech savvy to create a form, so I don't have one on my site. Oh, and then of course Michael says, I also don't eat bacon. I know I'm totally not supposed to be reading the chat. I know I'm supposed to be focusing on you, Ryan, but too bad.
Yeah.
I don't eat bacon, so I'm not very trustworthy. That is in fact true. Michael doesn't eat bacon unless he loses a dare in which I force him to eat bacon. So there's that.
And what can we expect from you in the future then?
So, so I can't even believe I almost forgot to say this. So if you are watching this either live or in the next 48 hours, or even after that, you want to go to my website, WritingaBlueStreak.com, and if you forget that, just Google Blue Streak Massage and I will come up. You'll see a little caricature of me, probably a picture of me. It's not that hard to find. Use your tools, Google it, Blue Streak Massage. You'll come up with my website, and you will you want to go to the right-hand column and you want to enter your email in to receive updates, because in the next 48 hours, you are not only going to get a resource, you're going to get an email that has a couple of the resources we cited today, and you will also get a special, I don't know if it'll be a promo code or something, but you'll get some kind of awesomeness. You'll be on the list for the reduced price of the next ebook that's coming out. So we already have a Blogging for Your Massage Business ebook, and we did a workshop. Kat Mayerovich and I did a 4-week, actually we turned it into 5-week because we're awesome, workshop on how to blog for your massage business. It's a really useful workbook with worksheets to guide you through writing different types of workbooks, different blog posts. And our next project is email marketing for your massage business, and that will be out in the next week or so. And you will get better pricing on that if you are on my email list. So you need to do that, and I probably will extend it past Friday. But if you're watching this video, you need to get on that email list because you're going to get all sorts of special offers and better pricing. You will get advanced purchase options that will save you a couple of bucks and get you first pick on webinars and workshops and things. So go to WritingABlueStreak.com, get your little email in there, and enjoy.
And learn from the master blogger.
Yeah, well, you know, and that's the thing here. I'm not a master any more than anybody else. I just took the time to sit down and look at the process that I use and put it into simpler steps. And Kat is amazing at that as well. So together we created these simple steps. And I think there's a couple of people in the chat room right now who were in the last workshop in April. And, you know, they came out with some good posts. And the kicker here is that a lot of this stuff I tell you, you may already know, but you don't know how to put it together. So we put it together for you. And we just give you the steps, and we give it to you in language you can understand. And we make a lot of jokes along the way, so it does not suck your soul. It's not like being in middle school English class where you want to bang your head against a wall. It's like hanging out with me and Kat, and it's very fun. So if you're already on the email list, no, you do not need to sign up again. That's a good question. But you will already, because you already took a chance on me, you'll get the advanced information. But if you're not on the email list, you should get there now.
Is there any places that people can meet you in person this year?
Yes, there are. That's a good question. Thanks, Ryan. And I think at most of these events, they'll be able to meet you in person, too. Yeah. And if they're lucky, we'll be hanging out at the same time. Yeah. Oh, man, when Ryan and I are in person, it is so loud. So, yeah, I'll be in Tucson for the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education event in June. And then I'm trying to get to Vegas for the World Massage Festival. I'm working on that. I'm hoping that will happen, and that's in August in Vegas. I will be in Raleigh for the AMTA National Convention. I believe it's the first week in October. And, or, you know, call me. If you offer to buy me dinner or send me snacks, we'll do a Skype call. And yeah, so that's pretty much where you can find me.
And then any other big projects on the horizon?
I really want to get a whole series of these little ebooks out. People really responded well to the blogging book. The second, we're doing, the revamped version of that will actually be out in a couple days. So everybody who's already bought the book will get the second version as well. Because we added some stuff that we came up with. So there's that, there's the email book, and we're going to hopefully create a whole series of just bite by bite helping people conquer the little bits of writing that they're struggling with. And there's so many massage therapists who still don't even have websites, or who have websites, but they've got the stock copy from whichever, and perhaps they used a professional organization and there was a lot of stock copy in there for the website, and they're still using that, which is okay. But you can do better. I know you can do better, and we can help you.
So, anything else then? Or you're actually talked out?
I'm exhausted. Are there any other questions? Have we missed any questions? I know somebody mentioned Florida. I can't get to the Florida event this year. And that's a really interesting thing to remember, too. Like, and, Ryan, I know you experienced this for years. Like, when you would go to an event, you're paying for it. Mm-hmm. And so... to go to every event all year, it's just too much, because I got clients I got to see, and I'm just like you. if I'm not seeing clients, I'm not making money. And yes, I do some other things, and I have some other income streams now, but the bulk of my income, just like you, is massaging people. So I'm in the same boat you all are in, and I know, Ryan, you were teaching and you were, paying to get yourself to all these different events. You give so much. Can I just take a moment to appreciate Ryan Hoyme?
Oh.
Holy mackerel, dude. You only take a week off when you, leave the country. Dude, you're amazing.
Thanks.
Holy crap. What you give to this industry is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Anyhow. And you've got a new job now, too, so that's awesome.
Yep. So everybody will be able to see me everywhere now. So.
Yay! Yeah. And that's awesome, because you do really good stuff.
Thanks.
Any other good questions? Or any other crappy questions?
Quality of Life says, I'm independently wealthy and you can stay with me.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
That is very good to know.
Yeah.
That's right, because Leslie's in Florida too, so awesome. Leslie's kick butt, man. She's writing stuff. She's talking to newspapers when she didn't like that Siri phone thing happening, and that's another thing. I mean, we've got so many grassroots activists in so many ways. I mean, I know Zerlin's in the chat room, and she did a lot with legislation in the last state she was in, and just Zerlin won't talk about it, but I will. I mean, she was with the team that was massaging people at the Oklahoma City bombing, and I mean, days of that, and that's phenomenal. I just tilted my camera so you can totally see that I'm sitting on my comforter. Sorry, and I really am sitting on my floor. But I mean, such amazing stuff going on with this industry, and I feel glowing from it. From being surrounded by massage therapists today, and really being reminded of how much people give. It's I could get a little verklempt. Do you have any questions for me, Ryan? Any burning questions?
Nope. I think you exhausted me too. So.
Yes!
I think I'll at least sleep an hour tonight. So.
Oh, great. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
I have early clients.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Allissa. It's never boring talking to you.
Thank you, and thank you to Eric Dalton and Massage Magazine for sponsoring this episode.
Yep, thank you. And thanks everybody for tuning in.
Good night, Ryan.
Yeah, good night.